Right, Mustang fans and surrounding areas. First time on the podcast, we're going to be talking Ingleside Lady Mustangs volleyball. Never done this before, so I'm really excited. And Coach Whittle, Coach, is that how you pronounce your name, last name?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Whittle.
sir.
So, Coach is going to come on every Wednesday early. It'll still be pre-recorded, but she'll be coming on. So we'll have her on throughout the volleyball season. She'll be talking about her program and her players. So I'm really excited about that. So this is the first one, and on the screen I have the head volleyball coach there for the Lady Mustangs, and that's Caitlin Whittle. Caitlin, how you doing? And Caitlin also has. Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, I lost you for a second, but now I can hear you.
Okay. And Coach also has one of her senior players there with her, and that is Mattie Agnew. Mattie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mattie. Thank you for joining the podcast. And again, we want to be able to shine some light on our volleyball program here. First time we've ever done this on the MPND Sports Network. And Coach is going to be able to talk about the players or program. Well, she'll be recapping some games throughout the season, previewing upcoming games. She'll also be talking about the other levels like we do in football. She'll be talking about the junior varsity, the freshmen, and also the middle school. So, what's coming up for our volleyball program here in Ingleside. So, Coach, if you're ready, I'll start, Mattie, with Coach. And then once I'm done with Coach, I'll go over to you, Coach. First thing I want to ask is just to introduce yourself to the community, the surrounding areas. How long have you been coaching? How long have you been coaching in Ingleside? And where are you from?
Well, this is my 14th year as a coach. I also teach Algebra 2 and Pre-Cal. This is my 4th year in Ingleside. So prior to being here in Ingleside, I was at Centerpoint ISD, tiny little 2A school up in the hill country. And that's actually where I'm from. I'm from Bandera. So after I went to college at Shriner University in Kerrville, I stuck around and then made the move out here to Ingleside with my husband. And most of y'all probably know him too. He's the head girls basketball coach. So yeah, we're really happy to be in Ingleside. We really love it here. We really enjoy it.
Well, we're glad to have you here. I know exactly where Bandera is, and we're happy to have you here in Ingleside and heading our volleyball program. Coach, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about your assistants. Who are your assistants and what are their responsibilities?
My 2 assistants this year are Sandra Alvarado. She is coaching our JV2 team. We didn't have a clear-cut freshman in JV this year. We ended up having 2 JVs. So she's coaching the JV2. She's been my assistant all 4 years that I've been here. And I know she's been at Ingleside for, I think, maybe close to 10 years now. So she knows the kids very well, and she does a really good job with, breaking things down for them. And then my other assistant, he's new to Ingleside this year. This is his first year. His name is Trey Mills. He comes to us from San Ysidro. He's coaching my JV1 team. Very, very knowledgeable coach. He'll do whatever you ask, always looking for ways to learn more volleyball. So those are my 2 go-tos this year.
Nice. It's always good. And we always want to shine some light on the assistant coaches because any program that's successful, right, it starts with the head coach, but those assistant coaches, boy, they play a big, big part in the growth of the players that we have. So I always want to give them a shout out and some love here on the MPND Sports Network. Coach, also your roster, I want to see if you can, I don't know if you have a list there, but I know I got the questions to you late. There you go. But wanted to kind of ask, obviously, if you can talk about your varsity roster, kind of who's on the team. I always ask if you can kind of let us know the jersey number that they wear. If you want to say position, that's fine. That way, when people come out, they can connect the name with the jersey number.
Absolutely. So starting at the top, number 1, Kylie Sanchez. She's a junior. She's playing primarily defensive specialist for us this season. She was one that we kind of pulled up halfway through the season last year, so I would consider her a returner. Number 2 is a senior, Cadence Sledge. She plays right side for us. Number 3, Oakley Ruiz. She's a freshman. I'm having her play outside. She's got a really strong arm. She's somebody that's, in the future, I could see having a really big role in our program. Number 4 is also a senior, Demi Perkins. She's a setter. Number 5 is Danae Williams. She's a senior. Right now I have her playing middle. She's one that we kind of recruited, didn't play volleyball last couple of years, but she's just an athlete. So Just using her straight athletic ability, she's coming in and helping our program. Let's see. Then we got number 6, Jocelyn Garza. She's a senior. She's kind of a utility player. She goes wherever I need her, but primarily this season so far, she's played as a defensive specialist in the back row. Let's see. Number 7, Kaylee Chittick. She's also a freshman. Very, very coachable young lady. Another one that I can see in the future really, really stepping up and being a force on the team. Number 8, Dara Davila, another freshman. She's playing setter for us. She's gotten quite a few minutes so far off the bench for us this season. Number 9, Kylie Ralston, our 4th and final freshman. Just a really great kid. When she was in middle school, she was a setter. Last year, I said, I think I'm going to transition June to a DS, a defensive specialist, and she took on that role, and, she's playing. So she's part of our rotation this season. Number 11, Ashley Marker. She's a junior. She's our number 1 middle. You can't miss her. She's the tall, lanky, kind of goofy girl on the court. Always has a smile on her face. She's one of our main hitters. And then number 12, Miss Mattie Agnew. 4-year varsity player. She's a senior. She's kind of started in the middle, but now she gets to play where she plays best, and that's on the left side. So she's my outside hitter. And she's also our captain. And then we got number 13, Emily Davila. She's a junior, sister to Dara Davila, who I mentioned earlier. She's playing a little bit of both right front and setter for us this season. And then finally, number 14, Avery Adami. She's a senior, and she's our libero. So she's the one that wears the other colored jersey, and she plays primarily middle back for us this season. And that's it.
Coach, it seems like a pretty young group, a lot of players returning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good. I always love when a freshman get up there. It gives them a lot of experience. I know, when you get up there as a freshman, you got to hit some bumps in the road, but man, I think it pays dividends as you become a sophomore and junior. When you're playing these girls that are older than you, more experienced, you gain that experience somewhere along the line. It's going to pay off for the program. So being able to hear a few freshmen already on that varsity, I think is going to keep us very competitive in the next couple of years in volleyball. Coach, I know this season already started. I got to you a little late, a couple of games. I know you played some tournaments. I know you had the Bay City coming into town. We'll talk about that here in a bit, but I believe, if I'm correct, I got this from Max Prep, so sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not, but I have the Lady Mustangs at 3-4. So I don't know if that's accurate with all the games in the tournament, but how has the season gone so far for you? And talk a little bit about the game on Tuesday versus Bay City.
That record is correct. I pride myself in keeping Max Preps up to date as much as I can. This season I had high expectations for our girls, really in terms of their attitude. In the past we've kind of struggled with kind of hitting ruts. We get down on ourselves and we're not able to rally back and and stay motivated to finish a game. This year I have a great group of kids. They're able to stay positive. They're able to talk to each other. Our seniors have stepped up and been really great leaders. And, going through the season so far, I've seen some really good things. I mean, like our young kids, like you said, they're playing. So, it's getting used to each other on the court, being able to trust each other. And slowly but surely we're getting there. The game last night against Bay City, Bay City came out. They had some really good hitters. That's something that they haven't had in the past. And I mean, even though we lost, I thought we did some really good things. But you could kind of see some of that youth, the inexperience kind of come out here and there. But overall, I feel like we're making progress. One thing that, we came into this season where we were compared to last year. We had girls that showed up all summer. We were able to start working on our system, working on our, setter hitter connections all summer. So when we came on day 1 for our season, we were ready to go. We were ready to go up from there. As compared to last summer, we didn't have people show up as much. And when we came on the first day, we had to basically start from scratch. So we are already ahead of where we were last year, I feel like. And, I'm looking forward to some good things this season.
And that's great to hear, Coach. The captains obviously make a big difference. Seniors, right? They're the coaches on the court. You need some good captains. I think that's where it starts off. The chemistry. It's nice to hear that we're already ahead. And the volleyball season is you play a couple of tournaments, and it's a long season. I feel a lot of games that are played. A lot of time, I think, for the team to build that chemistry, especially in tournaments and non-district. The district is what really counts. So as long as you're seeing that progression, you're seeing that growth from the team, and then they get ready for district. So still a long way to go. Glad to hear that we're coming together as a team. And you're right, those freshmen, you're going to have to hit those bumps on the road, but that's where those captains are there, and they come along every practice, every game. And hopefully right around district, we'll be ready to rock and roll and be very competitive. Coach, what do you expect from this 2024 volleyball team? I know you talked a little bit, you have high expectations, but what is that expectation? What do you tell the girls? Look, I know we're capable of doing this year.
One big thing that we talk about is, our expectation is the ball doesn't hit the floor. We're training our brains to just go for it, not hesitate, and do whatever it takes to get the ball up. More and more the girls are buying into that, and you can see it in practice. You can see it in games. Last night we had a really long, crazy rally where, people were hitting the floor and diving and, doing whatever it takes to, get the point. You kind of mentioned have my captains be coaches on the court. That's kind of another expectation. I say it all the time to the girls. I'm training you to be coaches. I don't have to be the one that tells you what you did wrong. Like I'm training you to where you understand the game, to the point where you can fix yourself, and you're not going to have to be so reliant on me to give you every little detail. As a former player myself, I feel like I became a way more knowledgeable player and better player when I became a coach, because you see a whole other side of the game. So I kind of treat practice and game situations like I do in the classroom. I ask a lot of questions. I let them take accountability of their learning, basically, just like I do my students. And they are able to, take ownership of that. And I think that just makes them better players. So overall, we're just going to be, my expectation for them, we're going to be more competitive. We're going to be dogs, as they like to say, do whatever it takes to win, and just be smart athletes, have a high volleyball IQ.
Man, that's great to hear, Coach. And that's true. You just got to keep playing tough. I mean, sometimes they're going to go our way, sometimes it's not. But I think as a coach, you definitely want to see the competitors just continue to compete no matter what happens, because we're going to continue to get better. So I'm glad to hear you say that. I think the girls obviously have a great coach, good assistants, it seems like there. So I'm really looking forward to catching some of the games this year, going out there. The home games, I know I can make. The road games might be a little tougher because we've got other things going, but definitely want to hit some home games, stream some of those games on our network, and let the community know about volleyball, about the talent that we have here, and what you coaches are doing there for the program. So again, Mustang fans, this podcast here, you can catch it on all our networks. And Coach Whittle is going to be coming on every Wednesday. So we'll be talking volleyball every Wednesday throughout the season. And you can catch it on our MPND Sports Network YouTube channel, our Facebook and Twitter. And you can even catch it on Spotify. So if you can't see the video, but you're at work or you're driving, put the earbuds on, check it out. You can hear it. Just go to Premier Sports Talk. That's on Spotify. Look for the GT Sports logo, and I'll have the questions there, and I'll have the episodes, and you can catch anything you want to catch as far as volleyball here from Ingleside. Coach, let's now turn over to the other levels of volleyball. And this is the part that I really like to talk about, because this is the future, right? This is what's coming up in 2-3 years. Not that the varsity isn't important, because they're very important, but I always like to let the community know what's coming up. This is what we've got coming. This is what they're doing. What can you tell us about the junior varsity, the freshmen, and even the middle school?
Absolutely. We have a really, really talented freshman class. They are a group that, were the first group that was under our current middle school girls coordinator. So they got trained just like the high schoolers got trained. They had the same expectations. They run the same system. So them coming in, you could already tell that they were exactly where they needed to be as high schoolers, which is something we haven't really had in the past. And so they're going to be good for the next 3 years for us. I mean, I already can kind of see who's going to go where, and it makes me excited that, it's a good problem to have when you have to try to figure out who to put where, because you have so many players. So I'm kind of excited about that. We only have 3 juniors 4 juniors. So our freshman sophomore group are pretty big. We have a lot of young talent, and those girls have worked very hard. They play volleyball throughout the whole year, not just during the season. So they're constantly working on getting better. And if you were to see where those sophomores were, 2 years ago as 8th graders, is a whole different group of kids. They are very, very smart athletes. They are very coachable athletes. So both of those groups, freshmen and sophomores, are people that are going to come in and they're going to have roles. They're going to have to compete for those roles because there's so many of them, but they're all good kids, and they're going to work hard for it. Yeah.
And coach, the girls, they've already played, right? The freshman and junior varsity, they've already played. How are they doing?
So they've only played 2 games. So both teams lost. We played Moody. Both teams lost to Moody, but our JV1 beat Bay City last night, and they played really well. They play very cohesively. Like I said, those girls play ball pretty much year round. So they've been playing on a club team now and together in the season for 2 years. They've trust each other. They're a well-oiled machine. And that's why they won last night. They were able to rally and get points back, and they won. Our JV2, they lost a really close game. They're still getting used to each other. They've played together very, very much. So they're kind of timid going for balls. And, it's just going to take a little bit more playing next to each other and getting a little bit more experience, but still they competed. And I mean, for the most part, they did fairly well. Just some little inexperienced errors here and there that we just got to continue to hammer out.
Yeah, that's going to happen. And that's why, setting up this podcast, coach, I wanted to be able to really break down. And that's why I asked the coaches if they can come on once a week, because I really want to be able to get into the program, let the community really understand because sometimes, we go out there, we just see and we expect something as fans. Because I was like this as a fan until I started doing this and talking to coaches and realizing, man, it's not that easy. A fan can go out there, hey, do this, do that, and it's fixed. It's not that easy. Once I hear coaches, the time that's put in, the work that's put in, there's a system in place, and you got to believe in the system, right? You just don't change it. Once I started to hear how coaches prepare and stuff, I was like, okay, this takes a while, and I'm starting to understand a little bit. And so I want to be able to give the coaches an opportunity to come out and just talk about their program and be able to talk about the players, and hopefully we can see the growth in the players. And that's why I like talking about the lower levels. We see you talk about what we have as a freshman 3 years from now, 4 years now, we're talking about that same player. Remember when this was happening? Well, look what she's doing now at this level. So it's also to be able to show every year, hopefully we'll be doing this for a while, what that growth looks like. It's what really excites me about talking about the lower levels. And so I'm really glad to hear the competition. Again, it's a long season, and so we're going to be talking, Mustang fans, a lot about volleyball. So get used to the podcast and check it out. It'll be on either tonight, it'll be uploaded, or first thing in the morning on Thursday. Coach, I'm going to step to your player now, and I have a couple of questions for her. This is Mattie Agnew. She is the senior captain for the Ingleside Lady Mustangs volleyball team. Mattie, thank you for coming on and spending some time here with us. Mattie, the first question I have for you is just how long have you been playing volleyball? I know Coach said you're 4 years, so we know that, but talk a little bit about what the growth has been since you started playing volleyball here in high school to where you're at now as a senior. And then do you play any other sports?
So starting here my freshman year, I was scared in my mind trying to be on varsity, and I did not have a great group of girls to really go for me, and I was scared. But coming along with the programs, like we all just came together, and I think we very much do have a better team now than we had in the past years. More chemistry, we have better chemistry with the girls. Even our younger girls, our freshmen who we've known like our whole lives, basically, it feels like it's just better playing together, and we're not so like on our own islands playing against each other. And I do play other sports. I do play basketball and I play softball. And another little hobby sport I picked up was throwing last year. So I'm excited to try again this year.
That's awesome. We're going to be covering.
letter. She's a 4-year varsity letter for basketball too.
Wow. So we have an athlete here. That's great because we're going to be covering basketball as well. So I'm sure we'll be talking to the coach, and we're going to send an invite to all the coaches as the season starts. And then I know you play softball, and I know I talked to Kevin Lewis. So I can tell you right now, just to jump here quick to softball, I'm really looking forward to softball because I know what you guys got coming back. I know what you guys did last year, and expectations are really high. I can tell you that. As far as certain fans here for Ingleside softball. So definitely looking for that. That's a little bit down the road. We're talking volleyball today here. What is your expectation? We heard what coach had to say, what her expectation is about the team. But as a player and as a captain this year, your senior year, what is your expectation for this 2024 Mustang volleyball team?
Some of my expectations for this 2024 team is just finally executing what we need to do. We have the skills, we have everything that Coach Whittle has taught us the last 4 years. And even our younger girls have had her since she's gotten here. So I think we need to finally execute, let's finally win some district games, finally do our jobs. And that is a goal of mine, is that we finally win one game. Just one game.
It'll happen. I think, and it built, I mean, and coach knows, right? Because she's been coaching for so long, right? It takes time. I think a lot of people expect to just win, and it doesn't happen that way. If it does for some coaches, you're lucky, but you got to build it. And people got to believe in the system. Players got to believe in the coaches and what they're being taught. You got to buy in fully, right? And so hearing coach, what she's got going on, what she's seen in her younger levels, I think we're definitely on the right track. For the seniors, obviously, you've got 1 year left. So this is it for you, right? So we've got to do it now. But I think we got good captains. Obviously, you're on the team. You set the tone to bring everybody along, all those underclassmen, especially those freshmen, trying to pick it up as quick as possible because it's your senior year, because everybody plays a role. And to be successful and to win some games and be competitive and get into the playoffs, win a district title, it takes a whole team. So definitely wishing the Lady Mustangs a lot of luck this year. And like I said, we'll be talking a lot throughout the season, and maybe coach will bring you back. And we'll talk again during the district or whenever coach wants to bring you back. You guys are welcome to come on. You always got an invite here with us on the MPND Sports Network. Before I let you go, Mattie, I wanted to ask, do you have any personal goals as far as what you want to accomplish this year before you graduate, whether it be on the volleyball team here or whether it be for basketball or softball? Do you have any goals you want to accomplish before you graduate?
A personal goal of mine has always been to play in the All-Star game. I think I reckon enough force on the court or on the field. So I'm just super excited to see that play out. And I really definitely hope to play my sport again and play in the All-Star game.
And that's for volleyball, correct?
That's for any sport.
Any sport. Okay. That's volleyball, basketball, we're going to do our part to play this podcast here on all our networks. We got a few networks. So we're going to put it on Spotify so everybody can hear. That is your personal goal. But if you make it there, obviously it won't be because of podcasts. It's because of the talent that you have, the work that you put in. Hopefully the coaches will see that. And when it's time to vote, they will vote you in. That would be great. So we'll do our part here to put it out there, put video out there for you so everyone can see what it is that we're doing here. Mattie, I'll ask you the final question. That's to give you the final thought. Anything you want to add, anything you want to say before we let you go?
Something I would love to say is that I'm just excited for this season. I'm excited to pull along these freshmen, to pull along these sophomores and juniors, that we finally have the skills we need and we're going to execute this year.
Absolutely. And I think coach has a great captain in you now. And I hope that everything goes good for us. Like I said, we're going to do our part to be able to stream as many games as possible on our network and also interview coach so she can continue to keep the community and the surrounding areas informed of how well this team is going. Just keep grinding, just keep playing hard. And I think the most important thing, and sometimes I always tell the players, is just have fun, right? It's your senior year. Win, obviously play, but have fun. Make this an enjoyable moment for you. And if we can do that, everybody comes along, the chips will fall in place. And hopefully when it's all said and done, we're competing and we're in the playoffs, extending our season into the playoff, the postseason is what I'm hoping for the Lady Mustangs here Coach, I'll give you the final word. I didn't want to bombard you with a lot of questions. I have more, but this was the first one. And I said, if I throw a lot, they're probably going to say I don't want to come back. So I just kind of wanted to ease in. Next week, now that I know you'll be coming on every week, I'll email you questions again, and we'll go more in depth on the team, and we'll start recapping and previewing games. Now that I know that you have the stats on Max Prep, I can definitely go in there, check it out. Because what we want to do, Coach, is just be able to highlight, especially during that week, any of the girls that had big games, kills, aces, whatever it was. We definitely want to be able to promote that on this podcast. So I'll give you your final thoughts. Anything you want to add, Coach, before we let you go?
Well, before I say my final thoughts on the season, I want to say that this girl right here, she embodies what a leader is supposed to be. A leader, before anything, is a servant. And she serves her team. So I'm very, very happy to be able to coach her. I'm very privileged. So yeah.
Thank you.
Final thoughts on the season, or just how things are going so far. I'm excited. Sometimes the long seasons can drag on you, and you have to regroup for the next season. But I've been very lucky this summer. I got to work with these girls at pretty much every day. They've bought in. So now we just got to see the fruits of our labor, just keep doing what we're doing every day, practicing with a purpose. And that's something I tell them every day. Let's make this a purposeful practice. What are we doing to prepare ourselves? And I think we're on the right track. We're going to have some success. For our district this year, we only play 4 teams. So we technically only have to win 2 games to make it to playoffs. So very, very reachable goal. It's just about, like Mattie said, just executing. We just got to execute.
Absolutely. And next week, Mustang fans and surrounding areas, when Coach comes on next Wednesday, we will get more into that district and see who is in the district with Ingleside. So we'll kind of break that down. As Coach said, we'll get more into like, what do they have to do to get in the playoffs? But we're really, really still a long ways off. So as I said, when Coach comes in, she'll be recapping these games that they played. They play every Tuesday and Friday. So today's Wednesday. So we'll recap Friday's game and Tuesday's game next Wednesday. And then we'll preview the next 2 games that are coming up and get Coach's thoughts. And so again, we won't be able to have the ladies, the girls, the players to come on, because Coach will be coming on during the day. So of course, I don't think she can get the girls out, but we'll work with Coach to see if we can get them on sometime after practice. Coach, when do y'all practice? Does practice end at a certain time? Y'all practice in the morning or evening?
We practice in the afternoon. We go from about 4 to 6. So technically we could do after 6 o'clock, or I can end a little bit early if I needed to, and we can go after that.
Yeah. What day would work for you? A Monday, or would Monday work for you? Or Wednesday?
Probably not.
Okay.
It'd probably have to be a Wednesday, because
Okay.
Mondays and Thursdays are middle school plays.
Okay.
And are either one, and I like to go watch them.
Okay.
So Wednesday would probably be the best thing.
Okay, so we're looking at Wednesday about 6 or something in the evening. We could probably get a coach after a player to come on, because I'd love to get the players on about 20 minutes just to get them on and get them some publicity. So that'd be great. So again, Coach is going to be coming on every Wednesday. So definitely be tuning into that, and it'll be uploaded to our network, our social media platforms, the MPND, either on Wednesday night, if not by definitely Thursday morning when you wake up. Just tune in to the MPND Sports Network, and you'll see the podcast here. Coach, thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to bringing you back every Wednesday during the season. Mattie, good luck. Hopefully we have you back a few times before the volleyball season is over, but I know we'll be talking more with you during basketball season and obviously during softball. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great one, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye.